Hey John, you want to tell TikTok the story about how you caught a murder charge after your episode on soft white underbelly?
Let's do it.
And for everyone under my video saying I'm capping, I'm gonna post a proof of it at the end. You're not gonna want to miss it. Let's rock out. I'm sure this is a question that everyone's gonna have, so how did you meet Mark from soft white underbelly, and did you get paid?
Mark and I met through a mutual friend we have who he was asking for people's stories for a YouTube thing he was doing. And he paid me $2,000 for mine. Also, Mark, really appreciate the opportunity to put a mirror in front of my face to help me change a lot of things in my life.
So how long has it been since your interview with him, and how have things been, besides the murder?
The interview was 2 years ago, and I have been sober since.
Hell yeah.
And things have been looking up.
Is it true that the guy that you inevitably caught the murder charge on actually discovered you through the interview that you did with him?
Yeah, that's true. Him and many others reached out, offered support, wanted to help me out. He was just in the closest proximity. Actually invited me out to lunch in North Hollywood, which is not far from where I was at the time, which I found disconcerting at first. But he turned out to be, just an honest, nice, caring person. And I really hate that things happen the way they happen.
So he saw your interview, hit you up, then y'all went to lunch. What happened next?
We just got to know each other. We talked, we vibed. He had the abilities, the know-how, the facilities to help me reach my full potential, and it was off to the races from there.
So after he had expressed interest in wanting to help you, what did that help look like?
So he and his family owned Malibu Recovery, which had multiple sober living homes in the hills, dope-ass spots, but he wouldn't let me get into one of those until I had fully detoxed off of the drugs, which I wasn't ready to do yet. So he gave me the keys to his studio to stay in while we corresponded until things took a turn for the worse and he relapsed.
So you mentioned he had relapsed. Can you describe that for me?
So I texted him one night and he instantly calls me on FaceTime, obviously under the influence, to tell me that his wife had kicked him out, holds up 2 bags of goodies, and instantly I wanted to join the party.
So he shows you on FaceTime that he wants to party. You make your way over there, and then what happened next?
So obviously we start partying, he Ubers me up there, and it's Halloween night, so obviously we want to go out and hit the town. He ended up getting in like a drug-induced psychosis, getting stuck, and was unable to leave, so I left to go out, go on the town, and party out there for a little while. And eventually I come back, and he's passed out, snoring, and so I grabbed the laptop, went down to the lobby to go work on some music, and noon, 1 o'clock's rolling around, and we had not reserved another night at this hotel. We were supposed to go to the Ritz next, and he hasn't called me or indicated that we're leaving or anything, so I started to think something was up.
So you were down in the lobby working on your music. You notice that it's getting closer to checkout time. You haven't heard from him. You call him. What do you see next?
So I'm walking to the elevators and I see fire trucks and EMT personnel outside, or at least their cars. And I get to the floor from the elevator, and I knew it was gonna be bad, but I didn't think it would be this bad.
So when you see the EMTs, do you have any idea what's going on?
I knew he was dead. I'd seen this 1,000 times before, and it doesn't get easier ever seeing this happen.
Okay, so what happens next, John?
So the EMTs would not let me into the room until the coroner had arrived. So I went down to get my stuff out of his car, and the valet gave me the keys. And I made a split-second decision to drive off in this $120,000 AMG.
So how did this evolve from a terrible tragedy to a terrible tragedy plus a murder?
So for 3 days, I rolled around in a psychosis in the car until eventually I got picked up by homicide detectives.
Now everyone that's in the comments is hollering about show proof, it's your lucky day.
Relationship-wise, like out of people, like I became